And in that season, I was placed on homebound. Much like the COVID isolation everybody experienced, I had a little first-hand glimpse of that in my teenage years. So I was home, I was isolated, and I remember saying to God, God, if you get me out of this scenario, if you get me out of bed and out of my house and give me an opportunity, I will tell the world about hope, like real hope, hope that makes you feel like, yeah, I feel like it's that thing that when you know, it's like the secret, right? When you know the secret of life and you don't want to just hide it for yourself, you want to tell everybody, hey, guess what I found? I found like real hope. And I feel like right now we're lost in a world that feels very hopeless, right? There's so much chaos, there's so much going on. It feels like so many things can be greater than us and bigger than what we feel like we can believe in, if you will. Believe in seeing the good. But hope is that thing that really allows you to see beyond the here and now and says, no, I know what's coming. I believe for something greater. And so I say that to say, my story revolved around faith. I remember when I first got my deal with my Christian label, though, I said, God, why did you bring me to Christian label? I didn't ever want to do Christian music. I just wanted to sing and tell people about hope and tell people the story that I've gone through. And
but I mean, that was your entry, though.
It
because
was.
Lauren was the first woman in 20 years, I think, that you actually crossed over and you hit the pop charts.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a big deal for a contemporary Christian artist to do that.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those things I feel like I was brought there for a reason, and it was this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I just, as far as American Idol, you know, I just, do you think that, back to your faith, right? Do you think your faith, and maybe even a little bit of your Southern charm, since you're from Louisiana, do you feel like that took you beyond? I mean, because you didn't win American Idol or anything like
not
that.
Even close.
She was on two times on American Idol, but then you know, she went on, and I really feel like that pushed you through, you know, to make you the artist you are now.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I was telling someone the other day, when you're told no in pursuit of your passion and in pursuit of your dream, when you're told no, you have a fork in the road moment. You can say, oh, I guess it wasn't for me, and pack up your bags and go home. But that only proved to yourself how much that passion and that dream didn't really actually mean to you. Because when you have something that burns inside of you that you wake up every single day and you say, I don't know how to survive on this planet if I'm not doing X, Y, Z. When you have that burning, that real burning, I feel like I don't know if a no is good enough to stop you from still staying in pursuit. So for me, it was such a good teacher because it showed me that what I actually cared about was the craft of singing, was the storytelling element, was getting to talk about God in front of people. That was important to me. And so I remember thinking, my mom actually, so I get kicked off the show, right? I go home, buy Ryan Seacrest. We know Ryan is a big fan, friend of ours. But I left and I said, all right, it is what it is. Tears falling down my face. My mom looks at me on camera, like with all the whole bit, on American Idol. She says, girl, you have one choice. And I said, what? She said, you can believe the yes of God or the no of man. And I said, okay. And so I left there saying, I got one day. I'm crying about this for one day, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do after. And I think there's something about a no that shows you your tenacity as well.
Yeah, for sure. This song, You Say, you have the You Say initiative.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody what that is? Because I just wanted to mention that whenever you were singing it. You know?
Or the prize fund?
That you help people in need and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, awesome. So it's called the prize fund, and people think, oh, prize fund, like because we want your money. That's not what it means. My grandfather's middle name was Price, and he left this legacy of love. He could have been talking to a homeless man hanging out in San Diego or the President of the United States, and he would talk to them just the same. There wasn't any hierarchy. He just loved people. And the more I ventured down his story, he was one of my best friends. But the more, like, even after he passed away, I would find out one story after the next of ways that he poured into people's lives under the radar. I remember there was this one time that my grandmother told me there was a lady that was, they had this rental house, my grandfather was a conductor on the railroad, and then my grandmother was a school teacher. So not massive incomes, right? And they had someone renting a house from them. It was like their starter home that they were able to move out of and use as a rent house. And her partner, her husband, left her, and she had 3 kids, and she was like at this house, like, okay, I can't pay bills, I don't know how to do this. And he let her live there for free for a long time, you know. And so when I looked back on those moments, it's not that he was super wealthy, it's that he actually just had compassion for someone else's story. And I want to create a legacy of that in my own life, because I've seen what it's done for my family, and I've seen how we've been able to just connect with people. It's the joy of life, it really is. And so we started the prize fund. I went to this prison, and I asked some guys in there who I treasured. They were just incredible. You really see that there was an environmental situation that happened to them that got them into the places that they were. So asking prisoners, right, maximum security, like hard crimes, I said, if you could do something about your story now, what would it be? And they, like so many of them, said we would go to the schools and tell the youth of how not to get in here. And it just really stopped me in my tracks. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, look, the reality of a lot of people's circumstances is that you don't have a mom and dad to go home to because they're working overtime, and on your way to school and on your way back from school, there are people waiting there to get you involved in gangs. And when you're not being told that you're loved at home, you're going to find love in the first place that it is available. And a lot of times that is in gang activity. And when they boiled it down, it's very simple. It's not hard. They just said pour into the school system, pour into the public school kids that don't have places to go after school, pour into after school programs. And so that's what we did with the prize fund. We started pouring into all over the country, just after school programs that help get these kids off the streets in between going home or going to school and going home. And so that's been really beautiful. And then we also built a school in the Congo, which was amazing. And then we've done a lot. I'm like, there's been a lot of things, but it's really to pour into the youth, into the elderly, and everybody in between. So I guess that makes all of us.
Yeah, she's doing such great things. Will you sing another song for us?
Absolutely, yeah.